Sophia was 21 years old when she first left her home in Brazil. She had dreamed of studying abroad since she was a child. She imagined herself walking through foreign streets, making friends from different countries, and finally speaking English fluently. But dreams are often easier than reality. When she arrived in Canada for her university course, she was full of hope. Her bag was packed with notebooks, her phone had language apps, and her heart had determination. She had studied English for years in Brazil. She knew grammar, vocabulary, and how to write long essays. She had passed English tests. On paper, she was ready, but just 1 week in, Sophia realized something painful. She couldn't understand real people. Her roommates spoke too fast. Her professors had different accents. Even when people were talking to her kindly, she had to keep asking, "Sorry? Can you repeat?" One day, at a cafe, she ordered a coffee. The man at the counter smiled and asked, "For here or to go?" She blinked. "What, to go? Takeaway?" He repeated. Sophia just nodded. She didn't know what he meant, but she felt too embarrassed to ask again. That day, she sat alone in the park with her coffee, cold and untouched. She looked around at the people laughing, chatting, living so easily. She felt small, useless. She began to wonder, did I make a mistake coming here? The next few weeks were worse. In class, everyone understood the lectures. Sophia couldn't follow. People laughed at jokes she didn't get. She copied notes blindly. She spent hours replaying recordings but still didn't catch the full meaning. She felt lost in a language that she thought she had mastered. One evening, she called her mother. Her voice cracked. "Me, you no consigo. You no entendo nada. You su bora." Her mother said softly, "Sophia, Filha, you just need to listen. Not just with ears, but with patience." That night, something changed in Sophia. She decided she would not give up. If her listening was the problem, then listening would be her goal. She made a plan. First, she stopped blaming herself. She told herself it was okay to not understand. She was learning. She was growing. Second, she began listening not just once, but many times. She listened to the same short clip again and again. She used subtitles, then removed them. She paused after each sentence and repeated what she heard. She listened to children's shows, interviews, podcasts, YouTube stories. She didn't worry about understanding everything. She focused on feeling the rhythm, catching the tone, and understanding the emotion. She started to carry headphones everywhere. While cooking, cleaning, or walking, she was listening. Even before sleeping, she would play simple English audios. At the beginning, it felt hard, very hard, but slowly, her ears began to open. She noticed words she had heard many times but never caught before. She started understanding the small words in between, like, kind of, you know, I mean. Her brain was getting used to real English, not just textbook English. In her next class, the professor said, "I reckon we'll finish this unit by Thursday." Sophia smiled. She understood it. She had learned "I reckon" from a podcast. It meant, "I think." Her confidence grew. At the supermarket, the cashier asked, "Do you need a bag, love?" Before, she would have panicked, but now, she smiled and replied, "Yes, please." The biggest moment came 3 months later. She was at a school event. Her friend Olivia from Scotland started talking about her trip to Paris. Sophia listened, laughed at the right parts, and even joined the conversation. After a few minutes, Olivia said, "Sophia, your English has really improved. You understand me so well now, Sophia blushed. But inside, she was shining. She had done it not by learning more grammar, not by memorizing more words, but by learning to listen. She had discovered that listening is the heart of language. Speaking makes you feel confident. Writing shows what you know, but listening is the skill that connects you to people. She remembered her mother's words. Listen not just with ears, but with patience. From then on, Sophia became a listener, a real one. She would listen when people spoke, not just for the words, but for the feeling, the rhythm, the intention. And because she listened deeply, she began to speak more clearly. She understood more jokes. She followed films without subtitles. She stopped translating in her head. English became not a subject, but a part of her. She even started helping other students. She told them, start small. Listen to short things. Repeat them. Don't try to understand everything. Just stay with it. She made videos about it, sharing her journey, her tips, her pain, and her growth. She talked about listening not just as a language skill but as a life skill. Her videos went viral. Thousands of people thanked her for telling the truth that the real battle in English is not grammar or vocabulary, it's understanding real people in real situations. Sophia's favorite video was titled, How I Learned to Understand English by Listening with My Heart. At the end of the video, she said, if you feel like me, confused, lost, embarrassed when you can't understand, don't give up. I was there too, but one day, the world began to sound clear. And it will for you too. Start today. Listen to one thing. Pause. Repeat. Listen again. Feel the language. Let it live in you. You are not bad at English. You are just at the beginning of truly hearing it. The story of Sophia reminds us, listening is not just a skill. It is a doorway, and through that door, you don't just enter English, you enter connection, you enter understanding, you enter the world. She leaned closer to the microphone, her eyes bright. Let's do a quick exercise together, Sophia said. I'll play a short clip of native speakers, just a few seconds. Your task is simple. Listen, feel, don't worry about every word. Then I'll replay it with subtitles. And finally, I'll break it down sentence by sentence. She pressed play on her editing software. A Twoscon burst of conversation filled the room. You coming to the party tonight? I heard it's gonna be lit. Bring snacks, yeah? She paused. What did you catch? Maybe party. Tonight? Bring snacks. But what about that gonna be lit part? In everyday speech, gonna means going to, and lit means exciting or fun, so they were saying, I heard the party will be really fun tonight. She replayed it with subtitles, then again without. Now you, she smiled. Say it with me. It's gonna be lit. Perfect. Her video cut to a scene of her walking down a busy Canadian street, her phone in hand. Ambient chatter played softly in the background, street artists, distant laughter, car engines. This, she said, is real English. It's messy, it's fast, it's alive, and you can understand it. Piece by piece, she showed a split screen on the left, a before clip of her struggling, on the right, an after clip of her confidently chatting with vendors. Here's my biggest tip, she said. Don't chase every new word. Chase the feeling. Chase the flow. When you start hearing the melody of English, the words will follow. A few months later, Sophia found herself invited to speak at a small local conference for international students. She stood backstage, heart pounding. The room was packed with faces from every corner of the globe: China, Nigeria, Mexico, Spain. All of them had one thing in common. They were fighting the same battle she once fought. When her name was called, she took a breath and stepped onto the stage. Behind her, a huge screen displayed the title, "Listen to Learn." "My journey from silence to clarity," she began. 300 days ago, I sat exactly where you are, scared, anxious, doubting myself. I wanted more than grammar drills. I wanted to connect. I wanted to laugh at jokes. I wanted to truly understand. She clicked a remote. A video clip played of her crying on the park bench, coffee untouched. "I share this not for pity," she said, voice steady, "but to show you that feeling of being lost that is the start of your transformation." She pointed to a graph showing her comprehension level rising over time from 10% to 80. "Notice the curve," she explained. "It's not linear. There are plateaus. You might feel stuck for weeks, but if you keep listening, day in and day out, you'll break through." She paused, letting the silence fill the hall. "Here are the 3 pillars I built my routine on. Consistency. 10 minutes of focused listening every day is better than 1 hour once a week. Variety. Mixed news clips, songs, conversations, and stories. Your brain craves novelty." Reflection. After listening, ask yourself, what did I feel? Which words stood out? Write it down. She handed out a simple worksheet. 3 columns labeled clip, emotions, keywords, questions. "Use this every time you listen," she encouraged. "It turns passive hearing into active learning." The audience started taking notes furiously. She could see the spark in their eyes, the same spark she'd felt when she first understood. "I reckon," back in her dorm room that evening, Sophia reflected on how far she'd come. She opened her laptop and checked the comments on her latest video. "I was stuck at intermediate level for years. Your method finally broke the wall. Thank you for teaching us to listen with patience. Can you do a live Q&A on challenging accents?" She smiled and typed a reply. "Absolutely. Join me this Friday at p.m. Est. We'll decode Scottish, Australian, and Southerners accents together." She closed the tab, feeling grateful. Over the next weeks, the live session went viral. Students from Japan, Russia, Egypt, and beyond tuned in. She played an Aussie clip. "G'day mate. Fancy a Barbie this arvo?" They paused. Together, they decoded. "G'day equals good day, hello mate equals friend, fancy a Barbie equals would you like a barbecue? This arvo equals this afternoon." They laughed as they imagined a group of kangaroos flipping burgers. Then a Scottish speaker. "Ach, the weather's strike today, might be a bra day tomorrow." Sophia guided them. "Drike equals dreary. Dull bra equals fine, lovely." By the end, the chat was full of cheering emojis. They had unlocked new pieces of the puzzle, not just words, but culture. As she prepared her final assignment for the semester, Sophia realized something profound. Her journey had not only taught her listening, it had taught her resilience. She sat at her desk, headphones on, listening to a complex academic lecture about climate science. At first, she missed half the terms, but then she leaned in, repeated challenging sentences, looked up one unfamiliar word, photosynthesis, and suddenly the concept clicked. She closed her notebook and smiled. She had transformed her weakness into her greatest strength. 3 years later, Sophia graduated. On the stage, she gave the valedictory speech. "Fellow graduates," she began, We've studied hard, written papers, taken exams. But the most valuable lesson I've learned here is that understanding begins with listening, not just hearing words, but tuning into meaning, emotion, and intention. She turned the microphone toward the audience. I want each of you to close your eyes and remember a moment when you heard something new, maybe a phrase, a joke, a piece of advice, and felt your world expand. She paused, giving them time. That moment, she said softly, is the moment you truly learned. Celebrate it, chase it, and let listening guide you not only through English, but through life. The applause was thunderous. Cameras flashed. In the crowd, her parents wept with pride. Later, at her graduation party, Sophia found a quiet corner. She took out her phone and opened her first ever recording. The shaky voice memo of her crying on that university bench. She pressed play. The familiar words played back. I can't do this. I'm useless. This time, she didn't cry. Instead, she whispered, You did it. She took the phone away and joined her friends, laughter echoing through the night, a sound she now understood perfectly. Sophia's story is a testament. When you embrace listening, you open doors not only to language, but to connection, culture, and confidence. Every time you press play on a clip, every time you focus on one sentence, you are forging a path from silence to clarity, and that path, once taken, will lead you farther than you ever imagined. Her phone buzzed with a new message. I just joined your 30-day listening challenge, and wow, my comprehension jumped from 20% to 50% in 1 week. Sophia's heart raced. This was why she'd started sharing her journey online, to help others feel the spark of understanding. She smiled and typed back, Keep going. Remember our pillars: consistency, variety, reflection. You've got this. That night, as she prepared her next video, she thought about designing something more structured, a full program to guide learners step by step. She sketched out 5 modules: foundation sound, short daily drills to tune ears to English vowel and consonant sounds, exercises with minimal pairs, ship vs. sheep, bat vs. bet, everyday expressions, common phrases from films, songs, and conversations, decoding idioms like hit the sack, piece of cake, break the ice, accent adventure, fun explorations of different accents, Indian, British, American South, Australian, side-by-side replay with slow and normal speed, real-world dialogues, replay scenarios, ordering food, job interviews, casual chats, shadowing, technique, listen and speak simultaneously to improve rhythm, mastery, and reflection. Learners record themselves responding to prompts, peer feedback loops, and self-assessment checklists. She planned to release them 1 module per week, with videos, worksheets, and live Q&A sessions. She called the series Listen Like a Native. As she prepared the introduction video, she felt a familiar flutter of nerves. Her next big step. She looked into the camera and said, Welcome to Listen Like a Native. I'm Sophia, and I spent 300 days transforming my struggle into my strength. Now I'll guide you through every step, from tuning your ears to speaking with confidence. Within hours of launching, the program filled up. Students from 5 continents dove in: teachers, travelers, job seekers, dreamers. Each week, Sophia hosted live sessions celebrating small wins, someone understanding their first movie without subtitles, another catching their boss's instructions on the first try, a third finally laughing at a joke in its original form. One day in a live session, a young man named Amir from Egypt shared his screen as he replayed a snippet of his favorite English song. His usual stutter dissolved as he sang along, matching every lyric. Tears glistened in his eyes. "I never thought I'd be able to do this," he whispered. Sophia paused the video and said, "Look at that, that's you speaking from your heart." Then she reminded everyone, "That feeling is proof that dedication and proper listening practice work." In Module 3, Sophia introduced an unexpected twist. She invited native English friends she'd met in Canada to join a live panel. There was Jake from Texas, Priya from London, and Mai from Melbourne. Together, they improvised dialogue scenes on the spot. Learners listened as each person said, "Let's grab coffee," in their own accent, then compared the subtle differences. It was magic. Students could visualize accents as vibrant tones, not barriers. One by one, shy voices began to unmute. "I think I hear the R stronger in American. In British, it's almost silent. Australian flattens the vowels." Sophia beamed. She realized community was as vital as individual effort. Listening comprehension thrived when learners felt supported and curious. By the end of the second month, Sophia received an email from a director at a local language school. They wanted to license her program and incorporate it into their curriculum. Suddenly, her project evolved from a YouTube series into a full-fledged partnership: live workshops in multiple cities, student meetups, and guest lectures. Her world had expanded beyond dorm rooms and computer screens. She traveled to Delhi, Dubai, and Dublin, speaking at conferences on the power of listening. Everywhere she went, she reminded audiences, "If you can listen with patience, you can learn any language." She told them about workshop attendee Aisha in Dubai, who'd struggled with formal English for interviews. After 3 weeks of targeted listening drills, 3 songs a day, 1 TED Talk segment, and daily journaling of emotions, Aisha aced her job interview. She landed a role as a marketing coordinator at an international firm. Back home in Canada, Sophia noticed how her own confidence had grown even more. She no longer felt like an outsider. English was her bridge to people, ideas, and opportunities. On the day she closed her campus chapter for good, she stood before a mirror in her now empty dorm room. She remembered the girl who sat with cold coffee, afraid to ask for takeaway. That girl would hardly recognize the woman smiling back, someone who had guided thousands toward clarity. Sophia packed her last box of books, then sat at her desk and prepared one final video, a reflection on her three-year journey and a challenge to all learners. Your first step is simple. Pick any 5-second clip. It could be a movie line, a news headline, or a conversation. Listen once without subtitles. Don't worry. Then listen again with subtitles. Finally, break it down phrase by phrase. Repeat. Feel it. You'll be amazed how much you can unlock in just 5 seconds. She ended the video with her signature smile and words that had become legend. Don't just hear English, listen to it. And when you do, the whole world will speak back to you. Sophia uploaded the video, clicked publish, and leaned back. Around the globe, learners pressed play. One girl in Japan, headphones on, paused the clip and rewound with sparkling eyes. A businessman in Brazil replayed the exercise in his car between meetings. A student in Egypt whispered the phrases under her breath, confident and alive. Thousands left comments. My listening has never been the same. I finally feel connected. This method changed my life. Sophia read them all, heart full. She added one more line to her video description. Join me on this journey. Subscribe, like, and hit the bell icon. Let's listen, learn, and grow together. And so, the girl who once felt lost in a foreign language became the guide who showed the world how to listen. Through her story, we learn that listening comprehension is not just an English skill, it's a superpower that opens doors to connection, culture, and confidence. Are you ready to turn the volume up on your life? Press play on your journey today. Hit subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and let's make understanding your new reality one clip at a time. Because when you listen with your heart, you don't just learn a language, you become part of the conversation. As the weeks passed, Sophia watched her community grow into something vibrant and alive. Comments morphed into conversations, learners sharing their own breakthroughs, recommending clips that had transformed their understanding, cheering one another on in live stream chat. Sophia began to see patterns. Certain exercises resonated widely, while unexpected gems emerged from student suggestions. One evening, she opened her inbox to find a video message from Lena in Peru. Lena had recorded herself recounting a family anecdote in English, complete with her own accent and laughter. As Lena spoke, her eyes glistened with pride. "This is the first time I've ever told a story in English," she said. "Because of you, I finally believe I can." Sophia smiled until her cheeks ached. She replied immediately, encouraging Lena to share more and inviting her into an upcoming panel discussion on narrative listening. Meanwhile, the Listen Like a Native Facebook group buzzed with activity. Members organized watch parties for English films, set up tandem listening sessions with partners around the globe, and compiled resource lists for dialect-specific podcasts. Sophia promoted the best contributions each week, spotlighting outstanding learners with Listener of the Month certificates she designed in Canva. In the midst of this, a publisher reached out to propose a book deal. They wanted Sophia's story of transformation, coupled with practical listening exercises, published in print. She hesitated. Writing a book was a different kind of challenge, but the vision excited her, a tangible guide that could rest on classroom desks and nightstands alike. Over the next 3 months, Sophia balanced thesis deadlines, video production, and manuscript drafts. She collected personal testimonials, distilled her modules into chapters, and wrote day-by-day lesson plans. On the final page of her manuscript, she wrote, "Listening is more than decoding sounds, it is an act of empathy. When we listen with care, we show respect to the speaker and curiosity about their world. Through listening, we build bridges that span the distances between us." When the book released, it soared onto bestseller lists in multiple countries, proof that the hunger for genuine connection transcended borders. Educators praised its clarity. Learners loved its relatability. Sophia held her very first paperback copy in her hands, the cover featuring her smiling face against a backdrop of global sound waves. That spring, she received an invitation to join an international panel at the World Language Education Summit in Paris. On stage, flanked by acclaimed linguists and technologists, she presented a live listening workshop. She had designed an interactive app that allowed participants to isolate, slow down, and annotate spoken phrases in real time. Attendees gasped as they manipulated live audio feeds, unveiling the secrets of rapid speech. Afterward, a renowned professor approached her. Your approach, the human element, the emphasis on feeling revolutionizes how we think about comprehension, he said. Sophia felt a blush of pride. She realized that what began as a personal struggle had rippled outward, influencing not only individual learners but the field itself. Back home, she continued to innovate. She piloted AI-enhanced listening tools, blending her human-centered methods with cutting-edge speech recognition. She offered scholarships to underprivileged learners, ensuring that language barriers would shrink for those who needed support most. On a quiet afternoon, she took a moment to reflect, sipping tea by the window of her rented garden cottage. Sunlight streamed through jasmine vines, and she truly listened to the world outside. Children chattering in playgrounds, the hum of a passing motorbike, birdsong weaving between syllables of distant conversations. It all felt like music. Sophia opened her journal and wrote, "When we choose to listen, to pause our own thoughts and tune into another's voice, we discover not only language but humanity. Each sound carries a story, each story a doorway to understanding. May we never stop listening." She closed the journal, heart full of gratitude. From the girl who once sat frozen over cold coffee, she had become a champion of connection, and her journey continued, one clip, one conversation, and one moment of genuine listening at a time. So now, it's your turn. Find that 5-second clip, press play, and let the world speak to you. With every listen, you move closer to clarity, connection, and the confidence to tell your own story in any language you choose. Press on, and let the world be your teacher.